Good morning, Optimus. So today is Thursday, October 24th, 2024. I'm trying to get my charts logged in, but they're not loading. They loaded earlier, and I realized that I hadn't purchased an evaluation yet. And so I exited out, purchased an evaluation, and now it's not loading. So not sure what's going on with that. They changed the names of these evals. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not loading. Give me a minute. Huh. What's up, Tiny? Try exiting out and going back in again. Okay. Looks like it's starting to load. There we go. Okay. I'll get it up on the screen here. All right. So first things first, let's go ahead and check the news today. So coming up at 7 o'clock, just in about 5 minutes. Apologies for being late today. Woke up a little late today. Looks like we had PMI data at 6:45. Composite PMI flash, manufacturing composite. So probably some volatility in the ES. Got a lot of stuff baked in the morning, like building permits. What was up with the building permits, by the way? 1.425. So down 3.1%. As par for the course. Jobless claims. We got new home sales coming up at 7. A lot of reports today. Then we have the Fed balance sheet at 1:30. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump on in to the charts. Almost read 800. Whoa. 800's huge. All right. So we got a new 100K account. Let's go ahead and check out the ES. So ES is all the way down to 58.50. So I see a 5,200 moving average here on the way. Potential cross here on the 10-second side below the VWAP. That's exactly what we want to see. Let me switch over to the real ES, not the micro ES. On the 1 minute side, it's less of what I want to see on the 1 minute side. So the 1 minute side, we do have a science switch. That looks good. But the 200 moving average is well above the VWAP, while the 50 is below it. So this is a long way from crossing. But doesn't mean we won't get a breakout move. Let's go ahead and see what's the chart movement looking like today. 47 to about 49. Big sell off right there, which was to be expected because this breakout is way before the cross. This is about a $5 move on this total rip here. I would actually prefer this to sell off a little bit more 47 to 49 by 8 ticks for 4. I'm gonna try a little bit different. I'm gonna try sizing up a little bit today. This is the first day in this account, so I'm gonna try sizing up, but I'm gonna wait till the hope here, even though it's kind of pushing up right now. The hope is that this will actually sell off a little bit more, maintain this sort of price below 58.50 without breaking out just yet. The ideal. So I want to see this 9, 12, 26 cross to the downside. There's yellow right there. This is we're about a minute and a half out from 7 o'clock. So we have to be mindful of the clock. There's a 9, 12, 26 crossover on the 1 minute side. You may watch out for resistance up here at 55 at the VWAP. And there's also looks to be resistance along 58.50, which makes sense. There's also the EMA 35. This looks to be a 3-minute pullback on this green dot TTM 1 minute with a 9, 12, 26. So looks good for upward breakout movement. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch the 10-second chart. I'm going to wait till this gets a little bit closer to this 5,200 moving average. This pullback here is exactly what I want to see. I don't want to buy into it just yet, and I don't want to go long on it just yet. Oh no, I forgot about my tea. I have tea sitting upstairs in the kitchen. This breakout is like super close. I don't really want to walk yet. 30 seconds. 30 seconds to 7. And really looks like this breakout is going to happen right around, like right at 7 o'clock. It's 20 seconds away. ES is currently up $12 on the day. You don't want to buy into it just yet, even though I think it's going to rip right at 7. So, but the ES has been so shady the last couple weeks that I just don't know about it. Yep, I'm going to buy it.
Order filled.
I took the buy.
Order filled.
We got the 5 and 4. Made 230 on that one. Not bad for the first pop of the day. For myself, anyway. We've got this 5,200 cross inbound. Looks really good. Just like my tea. It's going to take me 40 seconds to go upstairs, get the tea, and come back down. By that time, this thing could rip. TCM's at 3.6. Positive 3.6. Doji at the top there. But I don't think it's going to hinder movement. You got a 9, 12, 26 on the 10-second side. Let's get this TCM to load here. Would be great to get a quick sell-off beforehand. I was going to say I don't think we're going to get it though.
Order filled.
Bought in up here at 53. Looking for an exit at 54. I should have already been in position here. I'm in 5 contracts on this, and I'm already way down on it. I'll see this push to 54. 53 and a quarter. There's 54.
Order filled.
Cool. So we got that. We're at 459 on the first day in this 100K account. So I think that we're going to see a nice rip here on the ES. I want to keep attacking this, but we're at a VWAP, and I really want my T. There's 56. 703 here. I wouldn't mind if we see a pullback to like 51, the 9 EMA. Looking at 62 as resistance here. So I'm kind of grateful that I'm only going for 4 ticks. It looks like there's bigger moves, but there's a little bit of choppiness, and so I think limiting the risk a little bit is a little more useful for me. I'm gonna go grab my T. BRB. Okay, good. I didn't miss anything. Chart did exactly what I thought it was going to do. Whew. Whew. And now I have T. Alright, I'm just going to check in for a moment on you guys. We're currently sitting at 460 on the day. Alright. So first off, let's be really grateful that Tiny did lose $800 here. Good job. Before the pattern broke, totally understand. I've been there. If I'm seeing right, yes, we do have new subs. We're at 473 now. We're getting closer to that 500. We'll get it someday. And I just want to say thank you, by the way, to everyone who decided to subscribe yesterday. I really do appreciate you guys. You guys are the reason why I show up here, because in all honesty, it's actually a little bit harder to trade trading live than it is trading by myself. For whatever reason, when I trade by myself, it's not a nervousness thing, but when I trade by myself, I tend to be like, I tend to walk away faster. So I manage my risks more, but I have smaller days usually like $200 to $300. Occasionally I'll have like a banger day, but it's not common. Speaking of which, I'm up 460 on the day. So I don't really want to give that back, but the ES looks to be kind of all used up right here, rejected the VWAP, which I was expecting it to do, just because this 200 moving average is above here. Occasionally, we'll get that break above VWAP, and then we'll see a run up to the 200 moving average and then reject. But I just didn't see that happening with what was going on with the 10-second chart, where we were seeing all this resistance along 55, because this is just too much resistance. Like, you'd want to see it essentially like pull back here, and it would have need to have broken on this candle, this particular one here. So and I think this was around the time that I left, was like rare. So so we got a ways to go before this is a full-on reverse back to 5900. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the 15-minute chart, because this is going to be one of the best ways that we can determine that. So the 15-minute chart, taking a look at it, we've been trending downward now since we got this cross here on the 21st. That's when we really started trending downward. Although we were super choppy all throughout this whole area here, all throughout the whole 5900 area. Now, where we're at is we've got this 5200 cross. It almost broke out right here. What was that? Yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Almost broke out and rejected on it. So the real question is, are we going to reject that again? It looks like we might, and I don't know. It just really sort of looks like we're likely to reject here at this crossover point. If we do, I'd be looking for a pullback all the way to 5,800. I didn't know that we hit 5,800 yesterday. Looks like we hit it at 11 o'clock. Pretty shocking that it actually fell that far yesterday. So, and that we're back up $50 off of that, off of 58.06. So we're back up, $43 off of yesterday's low. And the real question I think that a lot of traders are going to be looking at is on this 15-minute chart is, will this 5,200 crossover happen? Let's take a look at the 5-minute chart, which I believe it, I was going to say I believe it did, and it did, which you can see right here. Yeah, we're right about there. So that happened at 4 a.m. today. So nice big rip today in total, but not necessarily on the chart right now. I'm going to check my famous 3-minute chart. Yes, world famous. Ooh, 3 minutes actually got a downward cross on it. Would you look at that? Downward cross above the VWAP. That doesn't look good for continuation on the day. It's not a killer, but it just doesn't look good for continuation. Obviously, 1 minute got this downward cross some time ago with that 200 above the VWAP. In order for this to really break out and look great, I really want to see this 200 moving average get below this VWAP here, and then for the 50 to cross on it. So what that's really going to require, though, is that's going to require sort of selling, like staying lower along this range. You can see, though, how well we bounced off the opening range here at 58.44. It just found support there, ripped up to 55, and maybe struggling on the VWAP. But this definitely looks more of a bullish trend, which makes a lot of sense considering that we're up, quarter of a point today. So, but bouncing off that support or that opening range and not trying to work its way below it, I think that shows some pretty strong support towards the bullish side today. You need a tool and Tradeovate. So break down the data. Yeah, well, I mean, I think a part of that is I think there's a couple of factors that are actually playing here. So I've I've been an entrepreneur for since 2008, and it was around 2008 that I started actually learning. Um, Believe it or not, my first trading account was in 2010, and I made a couple of trades. I had no idea what I was doing at all, not even a little smidgen, and I managed to make a little bit of money. But eventually, as with any new trader, lost it. Um, and then I didn't trade again for like 12 years. Or no. From 2010, I started trading again in 2019. So for 9 years, I didn't trade again. And I just had this leftover account from, I want to say it was Scott Trade, that eventually became TD Ameritrade, which eventually became Charlie Schwab. Oil looks like it could have an op soonish. The ES looked like it was also setting up, but rejected that setup on 58.50. So yeah, that's kind of my trading story. But in 2008, I did learn a little bit about the economy and about markets. It wasn't really around until around 2018 and 2019 that I really started learning the economy. Well, one thing that was always really, really simple to me to understand, from entrepreneurship and just in general, it just makes sense. Was supply and demand. That just makes a lot of sense. If you have a massive supply of something, then the price is cheap. If you have a low supply of something, then the price is high. Um, Obviously, that's a very simplified statement because we do have like governments that meddle in prices and other things like that. Um, but for the most part, the lower priced, or the more supply something is, the lower price it is for the most part. And so when I think about that in regards to the market itself, that's one of the reasons why I actually, like, if I'm trading, I only trade specifically stocks. I only trade super low float stocks. Price is a little, like, it's relevant, but it's mainly irrelevant to me. I'm looking at the float and the volume above everything. Those two factors, because if there are 5 million shares or 10 million shares of something, and it's got, 20,000 shares a minute or something, or 50,000 shares a minute, or 150,000, like, that thing's going to be moving. It's going to be moving well. And so we can determine movement based off of that supply and demand. But something's got like a billion shares or something, I'm gonna be looking at that as a investment or a swing trade. So not the same thing, not the same mentality. Yeah. Um, Not really seeing any setup here. Although this kind of almost looks like a short, but I'd be hesitant to go short just because of this opening range support right here. So, and yeah, it's even bouncing off of where I said. But as far as assessing the market quickly, um, I've put a lot of effort into developing my own strategy, and through the development of my own strategy, I can look at longer and longer time frames and extrapolate where things are going to end up going. This is this is true, but this is also true due to there may be a lot of supply for an item, but you have to measure the supply of the item or commodity or whatever it is in relation to the supply of money. So prices are high not necessarily because prices are high. It's true that they are, but prices are actually relatively equivalent to what they were minus inflation. So if you go back to 2008, that's a 46% inflation between 2008 and now. So if you're considering, I'll get my screen up here, but if you're considering, let's say, um, a $250,000 house in 2008, and you factor in the 46% inflation, that house at 250 is 365. Now, obviously, that house is not 365. It's more like 900,000 or something like that. But so yes, in regards to that, yeah, that's a crazy, crazy amount of inflation when it comes to standard of living. Um, but like, let's say, for example, a gallon of milk might have been $1.99 in 2008, and at 1.46% inflation, that's 2.91. So probably $3. That still seems regular to me, but it is 46% inflation between '08 and now. So if somebody made $56,000 in 2008, that person should be making $81,000 in order to make the same amount of money that they made in 2008. But I actually agree with you, Tiny. I think prices are high, even in relation to the money supply, even in relation to inflation. Because even just that little, you know, calculation right there, I mean, it sort of proves it. Prices are up more than 46% over 2008. I guarantee you wages are not up 46%. That's for sure. Where did you send that message? It's killing me slowly. I totally understand. Yeah, like that's sort of my exact situation. Was the before we before we had this whole like inflation craziness, um, my family had actually saved up a relatively decent amount of money for a house, and all of that money was usurped just to regular living, um, which was very frustrating. And surprisingly, I started investing like a few months before the pandemic started. Like October 2019 was really where I started investing heavily, and the pandemic was, a couple months later. I was learning to trade in October of 2019, and by March, and I felt like kind of ready to go. Um, that's when the pandemic happened. So I guess it was good timing to change, but I don't really see nothing. So I think I'm gonna walk with my 460 as my first day trading this account. So made almost 10% of where we're at, like what we're after. We're going after 6K. I'm gonna have it stepped up to 5 contracts. I actually think it's gonna be easier to hit my goal instead of 3. So I'm going to need to be better at risk management, especially running 5 contracts. But I do believe that this will ultimately be better in the end. CTM's at negative 3.1 or so. This did end up finding support along 58, 45, 47 area. So good chance that this will come back, at least to test VWAP. And like I said, it looks pretty bullish to me with that area as support. I just think that we need this 200 moving average to come down in order to really see a true reversal and a true breakout. Nice pop right here, though. That was a great pop from 47 up to almost 50. There's 50 there. So, good $3 move, good 12 ticks. Popping again off of 50 up to 51. I would want to see a sell back first, and then another crossover. This other crossover that took place back here, this one was a little scary. So it happened, we bought in right there at 53, and it immediately pulled back to 50. So immediately we were down $3, and that was pretty scary. I almost cut it, but I felt confident in the trade, which is why I held on to it. But we could have got a better buy on that one. Wow, this rip was way bigger than I expected it to be. Pulled all the way up to 53 again. Like I said, I thought that we needed a sell off first, but should have just bought in, I guess, at 50. I just wanted to be a little bit more cautious on it. I think we have a news report dropping at 7:30. Let's top subjects. Yeah, 7:30. We've got natural gas stocks. So yeah, as far as new home sales, we had 738,000. Looks like. So slightly beating the forecast. I rejected again off of 53. I'm glad I didn't go long there, but it just seemed like it was too early for that breakout. Selling all the way back down to 47. We'll see if we find support here at 47. Good short for anybody who's doing that. But that would have been a great long, just as it is. when I was first looking at it, was like as a actual breakout was right here. I was expecting it to pull back to about here and then pop. Couldn't manage to get the TTM swap there. And rejection off V. Two minutes to 7:30. And ever so slightly trending below this support level here. I'm calling that support level at 47, not a 45. So if this holds 45, then it makes sense to me as a support level anyway. 44 being that opening range where it bounced off so easily. But these look a little bit different, as this one had this whole big long TTM extension before it finally got this pop here. I guess we got this red to yellow. So it looks pretty similar. TTM's at negative 1.6. And it rejected that 5200 cross there. So I guess we missed that move. Oh well. Yeah. I would probably suggest trading small until you really get it. Just because if you're trading larger, larger trades, larger losses, but also, larger wins. I understand that too. But really needs to fit your strategy. And when you're trying out something new, like an evaluation or the software itself, trading small, I think, helps you really sort of gauge that movement as it equates to your strategy a little bit better. TTM at negative 1.4 on the 1 minute side. This did find support off of 45 or 46, as I was mentioning, off that like 47 area, bounced. It might reject here because remember, 47 really was the area that we were looking at as support along this, and that support may become resistance potentially. Although I sort of think that this is in a breakout mode or a bullish mode. You can see this EMA 35 crossing above that 26 moving average right there, which is a bullish sign. And our TTM is stacking up slightly towards the cyan switch. So that may give us an opportunity for upward movement. I'm going to take one more look at the 1 minute side here for just a second. I want to see how this is progressing. This has dropped $2 since this time over here. So it's come down quite a bit. The 50 moving average has moved along with it. That's moved its way down to $50. They're about $10 separate. There was a quick cyan switch there on the 10-second side. I'm not interested in taking a long here unless we get a 5200 cross. Even though you saw an awesome move here. 9-12-26 cross looks like it's been pretty reliable today as well, which we did just get right there. 9-12-26. Right here at 50. I wonder if we're going to push up to 53 again. There's 51. Topping tail. 9's about to cross above the 200 moving average there. And it's currently 732. There's 9 9 and 12 crossing above the 200 moving average. This looks like a push. Damn it.
Order filled.
I'm going to get out of that fast.
Order filled.
All right, we're out. I didn't like my fill spot, so I just took a single tick off. So just in case this rejects right here, that's why I just took that trade off immediately. I actually would like to see this sell down to 50 and then cross. This looks like an opportunity here for a breakout. I'm grateful that I just took that single tick. I had even reduced the size of the move for the trade, the range. This looks like this could actually happen. It does happen. I'm looking at, so we're right at VWAP now. VWAP's at 53. And there's a fresh cyan switch on the 1 minute side. Pull back to 50 would look great. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candles in a row. Let's check out this 3 minute. We may get a 3 minute cyan switch. You see that? Looking at resistance at 55. Like I said, I really want to see a pullback here. Like a brief pullback would look great. There's that 5200 cross. There's 55 and a quarter. I think we're going to break through it. Pull back first. Pull back first. Come on. Pull back to like 53. Let's see a little bit of consolidation on this pullback here. Ideally, this would be great if this like went down to 0 or slightly below it and then did a red to yellow switch. Then that would give us really clean movement toward the upside. Currently pulled back to 53.50. Pulled back to the VWAP right now. That looks like a VWAP bounce right there. 9 moving average is all the way down to 51 though, so TTM currently at positive 2.7 with a green dot. Last time we were here was right on this candle. So that was so did bounce off VWAP, got a little bit of a flag right there. And can we see a 3 minute pullback? Get a little bit closer to the 9 moving average. So TTM did pull back a little bit on the 10-second side. Almost a 0. Hit 0.5. I'm sketched out to take a trade here just because 55 is resistance on the 3 minute. It's also just a whole number at 55. .3 on TTM. Looks like the breakout's about to happen. Okay, good sell there. Like I said, if this can go, that's why I was sketched at 55. If this can go red a little bit on the 10-second TTM, this would look much better. It was a good move though in total. TTM's at 3.6. This other one, this other TTM topped at 4.9. We're kind of finding support above the VWAP here. I want to go long, but I really need the entry to be right. And I need to know that we're going to get that breakout above 55, or at least have a really strong indication. There's a lot of indication that this is going to break above 55, but I don't see the move yet. Looking at the move probably in about at 743. Often I see big volume pushes at 743. Gonna check in with you else. You only use 2 contracts. Makes sense. That's good. In my 50K account, I never go above 3 contracts anymore. So, a lot of teasing here at 55. There's that doji at the top. Are we going to get a pullback? Are we going to get a sell-off? TTM's at 4.4 with no breakout. We do have a flag above the VWAP. But you can see the volume dropped pretty significantly over the last few minutes. You can see we've been below average on the volume for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. These have been mostly buys, except for this one was about half and half. And this one was a sell. But you can see the buys have stacked for these couple of minutes here. There's also an 8 SMA over 9 cross, which could indicate a micro pullback. 1, 2, 3. With that doji at the top, that doesn't look great. 3-minute pullback would be ideal, followed by a pop. The 3-minute pullback, I'd want to see pullback to as low as 51, basically just right here at this 50 moving average, but likely will bounce off of the 12. Although this did pull back to 51 pretty quickly, actually. Bounced right back up. We did manage to get above 500 today, 501. 500 was my goal, so I was looking at this breakout at 743. So that's about 2 minutes out. We did get a silent switch on the 3-minute side. This thing eventually got that move that I was originally after. I see a 9, 12, 26 on the 3-minute side above VWAP. This has a lot going for it as far as breakouts go. We got this big red hammer candle here. 2, 3. This candle going red. You can see now the 35 is on approach to cross above the 50, which again is another bullish sign. We're 1 minute away from 43. And we've pulled back to about 52, just below the VWAP. $30 seconds. What if this thing just rips at exactly 743? That would confirm my suspicions that these algos are too real. 10 seconds. And we've got a cyan switch right there. Here's 43. I'm expecting some volume and volatility to begin to pick up here over the next minute or so. This did bounce quite nicely off that 50 moving average. Unfortunately, I gotta leave. So, I got some place to be. So I'm gonna have to walk, even though I think this breakout is imminent. So, walking away up $500 on the day, and like I said, I believe that breakout to be imminent. I just have to leave. So, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for our brand new subscribers. Again, you guys are the reasons why I show up. So you guys have someone to trade with, so that I have someone to trade with. And if you guys are in the market to get a new evaluation, be sure to check out Elite Trader Funding. These guys have some awesome deals going on right now. Currently, everything is about 85% off. You get a 50K account for $24. You get a 100K account for just $30. Or if you're really, really great at risk management and you like static evaluations instead of the trailing, you can get yourself a 100K static evaluation for just $20. So really inexpensive. This allows you 2 positions of the 2 minis and 20 micros. Should be more than enough to make the $2,000 profit target. You just, these ones, what I like about the 100K statics is that they just have a flat drawdown at 625. So everything that you make above that is profit. Everything, if your account is above 100K, you're in profit. So that's what I really like about those. Yeah, I just picked up a fresh 100K evaluation today. There's a link in the description. When you guys use that link, it will help support the channel, pay us a small commission. That helps us grow this channel, helps us show up every day, helps us stay, above water, more or less. So there's that big move right there. Happened to be a big rejection, not a big breakout. But I was looking for that big move. There it is. Came at 7:45, 2 minutes later than I normally see it. And with that, y'all, I'm out on the day. We are green $500. Show you what the day looked like today. Here it is. Up 501.30 on the day. First day trading this account. And the account is, the goal here is to hit 6,000. So 501.3, oops, divided by 6,000. We're at 8.35% to goal. Call it 8.36. And there's my alarm belief. So thank you guys. Much love and appreciation. We will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. So we're definitely going to be trading. We'll definitely take our time to assess the market. Fridays are weird. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you again so much for being here. Tiny, proud of you for taking that leap into the evaluation. Good job. I know that's challenging. I promise it, no matter what, you're going to get some growth out of this. So again, thank you everyone for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Peace out, y'all.